There are moments where you're just like, I am so overwhelmed and I don't know what to do. And I feel like a lot of times when you're a mom, you're so overwhelmed that you can't even think of like the most obvious thing to do. Hey guys, my name is Shayla. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, I talk about motherhood, I talk about pregnancy. I've got a 4-month-old and a 2-year-old. And today I want to give you tips for what to do when momming gets really freaking hard. So making this list, I was like, people are just gonna think that I actually hate being home with my kids. Not the case. I am really grateful that I'm able to be home with my kids. I'm also grateful for daycare. So like the days that I'm home with them, I'm happy. Regardless, it can get super hard. There are moments where you're just like, I am so overwhelmed and I don't know what to do. And I feel like a lot of times when you're a mom, you're so overwhelmed that you can't even think of like the most obvious thing to do. We're pooping our pants. This list might be obvious, but I feel like postpartum and mom brain is like so real, and sometimes you just need someone to hand you an obvious list. So I also would love if you would put below what you do with your kids when things just get really overwhelming. I feel like each of us has our own like trigger. Mine is sleep, because I have a plan for what's gonna happen during sleep, but when it doesn't happen, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's not sleeping. There goes like 2 hours of like time that I thought that I was just gonna have to decompress and relax that I now don't have. And for me, I usually need about 20 minutes to be like real angry about it and be like, oh my gosh, okay, everything that I had planned to get done is not gonna happen, and then I can get over it. So I try not to call Seth during that time because I'm usually pretty just overwhelmed and like manic, I guess. I don't know what the word is, but I'm just in not a good place. And then he'll like text me 3 hours later. He's like, sorry, you're having a bad day. And I'm like, oh, that was like 3 hours ago. So here's my list of things that I like to do when things get really overwhelming. So let me just paint this picture for you. You're like, okay, we're almost coming up on nap time when she goes down. Ezzy might go down, but if she doesn't, that's fine. I'm just gonna get a quick workout in. I'm gonna answer these like 5 emails. The nap doesn't happen. And it's like, I don't know, 45 minutes of trying to get her to sleep, not sleeping, just like talking and being wide awake. And you're like, just go to sleep, just go to sleep. And she's getting out of her bed, and there's also this, she's just like, I just don't know what to do with myself right now, okay. So the first tip that I have, some of you are gonna be like, what? I put her in front of the TV because I know that she'll be distracted for at least the 20 minutes that it takes me to just like calm down. And I've tried not doing that a couple of times, and I don't calm down as quickly, and I get more frustrated because she's like, snacks and this and do that. And I'm like, I just need a minute to just calm down for a second. So yes, I throw it in front of the TV just to down-regulate myself. I also throw out the list that I needed to get done. I don't throw it out, but I reevaluate my list. So the things that I need to get done in a day, sometimes I just say, forget it. It's not gonna happen. Other days I say, okay, there's no way I can get laundry done with a toddler because she wants to help, and I put things in cute little piles. This is her pants, these are my pants, and then she just throws them on the floor. Literally, I can't do this. And then I'm like, yes, I can. I need to clean up her toy room, but she's awake. I can do it. So I go in there and I just do it. And usually I'm able to get it done. Or I have to like alter the way that I'm doing it. So instead of putting it in piles in the living room, I just go in the closet and put it away as soon as it's folded. That usually works. Most of the time I have to fold things that land on the floor because she's helping me once again. But at least those aren't folded yet, and I can just put them in the closet. So like choosing to do the hard things or choosing to just get rid of the list altogether. Calling in some help. So for me, that looks like daycare 3 times a week, because I found that if I'm trying to do 50-50, it feels icky. So when she's home and I'm trying to answer emails, or I'm trying to do a vlog, or I'm trying to half writing this email and half paying attention to my kid, I don't like that feeling. I would much rather have her in daycare where I can have 100% dedicated to work, and then on the day she's not in daycare, 100% momming. And that feels really good to me. And I love daycare because she gets to play with other kids. Like, I'm not that fun. We go to the park and we go for walks and we go do things, but like, I'm not like the craft mom. I wish I was, and maybe I will be as she gets older. I don't know. But right now I'm like, don't do that. Blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm just afraid things are gonna get colored on and whatever. So at daycare, she gets to play with other kids. They do fun crafts. They give her the things that I can't right now. So that makes me very happy, because then I know on the days she's not there, I'm not going to try and even attempt to get any work done. I'm just going to be full mom zone. And part of calling in help is making play dates. Hey, let's meet at this park and go walk around. Hey, let's meet and go rock climbing. Hey, let's meet and go on a walk in my neighborhood. Or let's just meet and hang out in each other's messy living rooms and chat and let our kids run around together. Or on the days where I don't have daycare, I'll try and make it to my sister's house for dinner or my parents' house for dinner or somewhere and have other people to interact with. Which is another point, the car. Sometimes the car can just be a really good break. And for some reason, the car feels like a monumental task to me. Like getting her in her car seat, getting the other one in their car seat, getting them out of their car seats, just feels like a lot. So sometimes I have to really talk myself into this one, but sometimes they'll nap in the car. That used to happen with Aaliyah. Like she wouldn't nap in her bed, so I'm like, oh, we're just gonna go for a drive. 20 minutes later, she's sleeping, then I just drive back to the house, recline my seat, and we'd nap in the car. And like they're just occupied for a little bit, and you can just put an audiobook in one ear or just listen to some music and just like not be trying to put out the fires that they're lighting in your house. Just a little breather. Going outside is a huge one. If this one is crying inconsolably, I'll just take her outside and nurse her outside or go for a little walk in the backyard just to like fresh air, change of scenery, whatever. Same with Aaliyah. If Aaliyah is just running circles around me and I'm like, let's just go for a walk. Let's just go in the backyard and get on this swing. Let's just get outside. Outside's a big one. Get in some water. Sometimes I just hand her a hose and let her fill up her bath thing and like her water table, and she is like content for 30 minutes just like playing with the hose. The biggest one, which probably should have been number one, when you're feeling all sorts of crazy, just being present. Putting your phone in the other room, getting on their level, making eye contact with them, sitting down and reading a book with them, sitting down and just watching them. You don't even need to interact with them. Just watch them and like see how they are organizing the blocks, really connecting with them and slowing down and just being like right here. That helps to ground me so much, and it feels good to just connect with your kids like that. It helps them to downregulate because they feel like you're just in it and paying attention to them. And I think I couldn't do that right away. I think I would need to cool off a second and then go connect with them. But the connection is so crucial for helping them like calm down and helping you calm down a little bit, I think. Yeah, I really like just being intensely intentional and present with them. And then just knowing that the minutes will go by. You will eventually get to bedtime and everything will be fine. If they didn't nap, they're gonna sleep a little longer tonight, maybe. And if they don't, then you'll deal with that. Like things will just continue to happen. The day will go on. Those are the things that I do when I need to just like, when momming gets hard AF, really. You are a good mom. You maybe yelled at your kid, or you were short with them, or you just, there's things where it's like, if somebody saw me do that, they wouldn't be like, oh my gosh. They'd be like, oh, that mom's kind of upset. But to me, I'm like the worst mom in the whole wide world because I raised my voice at my kid, or I just like wasn't calm in the moment or whatever. There's just moments where you're just not proud of like how short you were with your kids. And I just want you to know that you're doing a great job. It's very hard. Just try and remember the tools in the toolbox. Like I might just print this out and have it on my fridge because when I get upset, my brain just goes blank and I'm like, I don't even know what to do. I look at the fridge like, okay, let's go outside. I would love to hear what you do in the comments. But I think that's it. I think that's all we have. If you're watching it, that means that you had a tough day, probably. So sending you so much love. I hope this was helpful. See you next time. Bye.